Good evening and welcome to the work session of the Battle Creek Public School Board of Education. Today is Monday, October 13th, 2025. It is now 5:31 p.m. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Kay Flores. Here. Ryan Hoagland Jackson. Art McClooney. Dr. Alicia Johnson.
Here.
Nathan Graycheck.
Here.
Dr. Nicole Perry.
Present.
Sally Fulbright.
Here. As a reminder, tonight's meeting is being interpreted into Spanish thanks to our partners from Voces Battle Creek. To listen in Spanish, please refer to the description on our YouTube live stream for the link. To our board members and other speakers, please remember to speak clearly and not too quickly so that our interpreters are able to keep up. Thank you. I will now entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda.
President Fulbright.
Yes, Trustee Perry?
Amend the agenda to remove under section 4, capital E, athletics, and move it to the next meeting.
Any support? It's been moved by Trustee Perry, supported by Trustee Hoagland Jackson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed say no. Motion passes. Now it's time for a public comment. Here at BCPS, the Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the community to express themselves on district matters. We have two opportunities tonight on our agenda for public comment. The Board of Education requests you fill out a public participation form with contact information. As you come to the microphone, please state your name. Each statement made by a speaker shall be limited to a 3-minute duration, and if the speaker represents a group, the person will be given 5 minutes to speak. BCPS Board of Education will listen, take comments and questions under advisement, and not respond at this time. Public commenters will direct all comments to the Board of Education and not to staff or other participants. Do we have any public comments? Thank you. Moving on to Student Showcase. A, music, Mr. Love, Northwestern Academy of Visual and Performing Arts.
Hello.
Good evening.
I am going to keep this very brief, but I selected 5 students from the Northwestern Academy of Visual and Performing Arts that really represent instrumental excellence. These are students that are all 8th graders, 4 of which are in our marching band, increasing our size of our marching band to a total of 37 members this year, when last year was at a 12. The first student I'd like to award is for Corey Knapp. Corey Knapp is an 8th grader tenor saxophone player with a very strong dedication to music, plays in the marching band, and is a phenomenal art student for our academy.
It is with great pride and admiration that we congratulate you on your outstanding achievement in music and for being recognized this evening at the Board of Education meeting. Your talent, dedication, and passion for the arts are truly inspiring, and we are honored about all that you are doing and continuing to do. And so here is a letter from us, and congratulations on your award. So we want to get a picture with you.
I have one more student as well.
Yep.
There are 3 students listed that are not here that I do want to make sure they are also recognized. Starting with Zoe Hernandez, plays trombone and is in our marching band. Lily and Nevaeh Alvarez play flute and they are in our marching band. And our lastly, who is here, Isabella Hurd. Isabella plays in the percussion section, specifically on the bell set, rocking it out for the past 2 years that I've gotten to know her.
Thanks.
Congratulations, Isabella. We are very proud of your hard work. Thank you so much. If you want to stand next to us, we'll put you 2 in the middle.
Mr. Love, can you draw the picture per sec? Potentially. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. One more. Yeah. Congratulations, very proud of you. Thank you, Mr. Lowe. We will mail the other certificates to the students who were unable to be with us today.
Would you like me to?
Oh, you want to just deliver my school? Take it out.
Okay, moving on to 5, reports and recommendations. A, security updates. Mr. Hayden.
I am happy, I am elated, I'm ebullient, I am all of those. To put this recommendation in front of you, it was included in your board packet and it has been a long time coming. Okay? Thanks to the support of our bond funding, we are now able to take significant steps to enhance the safety and security of our schools. This work includes the installation of a comprehensive CCTV coverage throughout the interior and exterior of all the schools and classrooms, and the implementation of a card access system that allows the district leadership to manage and limit access, addressing several ongoing challenges that we have within the district. Additionally, weapons detective systems will be installed at the high school, middle schools, and athletic facilities, along with vape detection units in select sites. The schools that will be prioritized first are the high school and the middle school in the following phase. This prioritization is based on student population size, the frequency of large gatherings and public events in the high school compared with other district locations. Implementing the system will be first that allows the district to strengthen safety measures where the greatest concentration of students and visitors are present each day, before expanding to the middle school and other facilities. With the approval of this resolution, AE Tech, who was our manager for this, will begin the formal AIA contract, which means we go into the contract with the vendor, put them together and get that on there, with our legal team and continue advancing the project. Why this matters? This investment represents a proactive commitment to ensuring that every student, every staff member, and visitor can learn and work in an environment that is secure, welcoming, and focused on education, not disruption. Good questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
It sounds like we're not doing weapons detection in elementaries. Is there a plan eventually to have that on too?
Correct. We're going to have a discussion because that is something that came up, and it's a point of view thing. So we do want to have those discussions, but we do have the money to get them if we want to.
Yeah, well, the thing that made me think of it is the point you made about when we bring the community in. There are conferences and things that elementaries do where there are a lot of parents in and out. So not even just the students, but also
Outside as well.
So I would really appreciate if we look at that again and think about that aspect. Another question I have is related to training around using the system and the weapons detection. Will that be something that the vendor provides, or do we have plans around training?
Correct. The vendor will provide that.
I just want to say thank you. It was not on my radar to add weapons detection at our elementary, so I appreciate the vantage point because I hadn't thought about it in that way. And so we will absolutely have a conversation around, where we fit that in.
Can I ask a clarifying question? At the very beginning, you said something was at all schools and classrooms, and I didn't catch what that was.
Closed circuit TV.
Closed circuit TV, okay.
CCTV will be in all the schools and all the classrooms.
When you say vape detection, those are like the sensors that are in newer hotel rooms now that can actually like sense the vapor in the air. So those will be in like bathrooms and such.
Correct, and it'll detect tobacco, cannabis, and other type of vapes in there as well. The other added one that we're getting because, and as I was sharing with Dr. Johnson on the way up, we are getting cutting edge technology. So not only will our vape detectors be able to detect vape, but we can have it where we can sense a population. So maybe we can say only 4 people at this bathroom. If there's a 5th person that comes in there, it will send an alert. The camera will catch that person as they come out of the bathroom. And then it'll be text to the leaders to know that that'll go. And then again, the cameras will be connected too, so we can find someone with that golden sweater that came rolling out of there. We'll be able to track it right through the school. You guys have no idea. This is something that is it is so refreshing that we will be able to show not only are we keeping everybody safe, but again, we talk about the community wants to know what are we doing to keep our kids safe? Where our staff, what are we doing to keep our staff safe? Guess what? We are going to have the new and be able to do that. The training and that technology will take some time. We're understanding that. Same thing with the weapons detection. But we know that that in-game one is just going to make it so solid. We will have the best in the city.
I really love the CCTV and all the classrooms and everything. There's so much he said, she said when it comes to disputes between students, between two students and staff.
Yes.
You know, he did that to me, that he started it. It's like,
Yes.
I like it.
We've got the wonderful support of everyone across the district that this is something that'll be great for us. So we're looking forward to having that installed.
And this is more of like, I guess, like a messaging question, but ultimately I think, you know, from the general population, there are gonna be those that talk about like privacy concerns and like overreach. So do we have like messaging around that for like how we're selling this?
We're going to work on that. Now, the one thing I will say is because we will also have them in our early childhood center, we've already went through and started investigating because like certain cameras we're going to place over a changing table, they will block out certain things. So those things we've already kind of looked at and said, okay, if we're going to have this here, what's going to happen is I mentioned about not bathrooms, but they will be right outside the bathroom. So if people run out, we're looking for that golden sweater, we'll be able to track them in there.
We should add that we already have cameras. This is more of a replacement strategy. Some of them are not working. And it's still all subject to FERPA, Freedom of Education Rights and Privacy Act. And so all of that will still be in place.
Any other question?
I have a comment, I guess I'll throw out there too, while we're interrogating the elementary piece. This is a dedicated, feels like a dedicated head count as we start to think about our staffing around security. So we have an SRO, which is great, but the SRO is still a part of the police department. They're not an employee of the district. They're not under the same standards as district staff, and they don't have the oversight of like creating protocols around events and activities that happen in our district. So I really want us to look into a role that is dedicated, because among all the things that you do, that's not going to be your primary focus. But who is going to be tasked with coming up with those protocols and doing the security role of our district? There are other districts of similar size that have a dedicated security director. I was interacting with the one in Kalamazoo at a football game last week. So I really want us to look into that as well. Because having the cameras is great, but if we don't have somebody focused on that as well as protocols, it's not going to be very effective.
Shiny new stuff.
Yeah.
I want to double down on what Trustee Perry said, because at the NSBA conference that Trustee Johnson and Grayjack attended with me last year, one of the events that I attended was specifically around a security liaison that's dedicated specifically to security. And I think I have my notes, so I'll send it out to the board and to you as well, just to give some insight on what that would potentially look like. Any other questions or comments?
I have a question. You know, just help me paint a picture in my head. What is this going to look like? What's the experience? What is it going to feel like for, you know, our kids or our families, you know, entering and interacting in schools?
Okay, sure. Looking at the high school, we do, the students when they enter the high school, they do go through the megometer and they do that. So what this will do, that will continue, but what this does is give us an opportunity to do a little more. Those megometers we have there are probably 20 years old. They're still in decent shape, so again, we're going to get, if you've been through any venues at, I think at Kalamazoo, I think over at Ford Field, they have these little short ones, they work almost like at 0.3 of a second, so we'll be able to go through and then having someone green or red, someone here to be able to do the secondary scanning. That's the part that Trustee Perry was talking about, having someone to pull them over, do the secondary scanning. And once they get into the school, the camera system is going to be so intuitive, and I use that because they use an example of a red hoodie. And what they will do is say, okay, here's someone that came in here, we need a red hoodie, and then they actually ask the AI to sort out. They will go through the 15 different red hoodies until you find out what it is specifically you're looking for. So that will be keeping the actual grounds or keeping the hallways clear. To Trustee Graycheck's point, if we're in the classroom, and we have a number of suits that have happened, we will literally be able to say, we won't have auditory. We will have very visual proof that we can say, this is what happened with little Logan Jackson. And we can show that he instigated this and the teacher did. Or we can refute and say the teacher did. And that way. So again, it's a wonderful comprehensive opportunity to keep the district safe, protect our environment, right? We want to protect what is ours. And that's our staff in the district. And that's little.
I just want to add for public awareness that the vape detection is part of our monies received from the lawsuit that this board approved. So we did receive some funding, and that is how we're adding on the vape detectors to the security program.
Thank you so much. Moving on to B, 2016 bond refinancing. Brenda DeMott.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Talk about bonds. Putting forth a recommendation to do a refunding on our 2016 bonds. These were originally issued in 2007 to redo the high school. Every 10 years, the bonds are eligible for a refunding. You could think of it like you're refinancing your home. That's really the best way to put it. So they were refunded in 2016, and the purpose of doing this is because the bond management lets us know that there's a better interest rate available. So we did those in 2016, now the 10 years is up, and they've let us know that the interest rate again is in our favor. So we're going to request that we get approval for the refunding, and they will now be called the 2026 refunding bonds. I don't have numbers right now as to what that's going to look like, other than I know it's not any cost to the district. It will be a savings to the taxpayer. Until we actually get the bond process completed and the bond sold, then we'll have a better idea of exactly how much that's going to save the district. It's pretty straightforward, like refinancing your home. Any questions?
Good question. You said this is from the 2007 bond. How long does the bond last for? That one?
They're 30 to 40 years.
40? So it's got a little time on it. Cool.
All right?
Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Moving on to C, BCCHS radio replacement. Mitch Fowler.
Good evening. President Fulbright, would you like me to wait for you to go through the next? Do you want me to just run right through them? Do you want me to wait for you to go to the next? I think I'm up here for a little bit.
Oh, good. Do your thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. It's all you.
All right. So I've got several proposals tonight. The first one, we'll get right at it, is you have a approval to purchase new Chromebooks for district staff. These are teachers to replace some aging Windows laptops that are no longer secure. Windows 10 is going away. Windows 11 is now the least we can do, and this upgrade will help us make sure that we're secure. This does support our plan of standardizing devices, and it also is a plan that helps us kind of reduce some maintenance costs, because Chromebooks as a device are a lot lighter on maintenance costs than Windows PCs. The funding source for this is the Technology General Fund, not to exceed $21,000, and these come with a 1-year manufacturer warranty. Happy to entertain any questions you have about those. Okay, moving on. Next one is a student Chromebook purchase. So
Skipped over radio. I don't know if that was on purpose.
Nope.
Okay.
I thought it was on purpose.
Steven had the last.
I know.
So in your packet, you have a plan approval to purchase new digital radios for Battle Creek Central High School. These will be replacing outdated analog units. This is connected to the safety and security work that Director Hayden and I have been working on with Josh Bowman. These radios will improve clarity, improve coverage, safety, and security for the operations at the high school. We do want these digital radios that were purchased in collaboration with our SRO to be the standard for the rest of the buildings around the district. The amount for these is $13,105. This is coming from the security bond funds, and I am asking for action requested tonight so that we can get these in and in the hands of folks as soon as possible.
So you're just starting off with Battle Creek Central, and then you're gonna roll it out to other places, so.
Moving on, I did start with staff, so we've got student Chromebook purchase. There is a request in your packet for the approval up to $80,000 for the purchase of new student Chromebooks. Many of the devices that we still have are reaching their end of life because they were purchased with COVID relief funds. As you can imagine, over years, Chromebooks and any other devices, the wear and tear can build up on them. And so I am asking for an action to be taken on this tonight because this is also an emerging need for students. And finally, sorry, was there any?
Before we move on,
Yes.
is the amount 80 or 50?
It should be not to exceed 80,000. Do you have it as 50?
It's both in here, so I wanted to clarify.
I would like to choose 80.
Okay.
This is paid for out of the Technology General Fund.
Take the 80.
Thank you.
We'll take the bigger number too.
The last proposal in your packet is to enter into a memo of understanding with the Kalamazoo Black Male Alliance to continue their work and to expand their work with the Men of Potential Mentorship Program at Battle Creek Central High School. If you're not familiar with it, this program supports belonging, leadership, literacy for male students of color in grades 9 through 12. This is not to exceed $15,000 and is to be funded out of the Battle Creek Central High School Title I building budget. Happy to entertain any questions you have.
So this is it's a program that's already been operating.
So it's an expansion. So there have been some relationships in the past, but this is an expansion of that Kalamazoo Black Male Alliance and Men of Potential partnership.
So there has been programming operating, and this is making it more broad.
Correct, and more formalized
Okay.
with the MOU.
And is it, do we fund 100% of that programming? Do they bringing in, or is it co-funded?
So this is 100% funded by the building's Title I budget, so federal funds.
I do have a question, but it's back on
Sure.
letter C, the radio replacement.
Yes.
So the old ones, what are we doing with those? Are we just tossing them? Can we refurbish them and use them somewhere else, or are they just way too old to not even?
No, absolutely. So they're analog. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in gaps in the other buildings that we have until we replace all of them. And then typically with our vendor that we use, if there are radios that can be salvaged or that they will buy them back. So when we get to that point, we'll go that route. But definitely going to be used. Yeah.
Just along those lines, I just thought of, is there any like STEM usage for them? Like I don't know, practice taking things apart.
Yeah.
Like
So
if they're not ones that are resellable. Like, is there other?
I don't know. I don't know. We can look into that. Yeah, we can look into that. You want I can take one apart too. Sounds fun.
I've never taken a radio.
Let's have a retreat.
Yeah, let's have a retreat and go take apart radios.
Makerspace around radio.
There you go.
Any other questions or comments?
Can I go back to the Kalamazoo Black Male Alliance? In general, it sounds like a really great program. Just making sure that I'm fully understanding. So if this is an expansion, is there a current amount? Is 15,000 on top of a current amount that we're funding?
No, my
This is like
understanding.
the total annual budget for this program.
And I will also add for this year, the Battle Creek Central has the leeway to choose what goes into their Title I budget and what does not. And this year they chose to formalize this agreement. It's my understanding, and others can chime in, that there was an agreement with the Kalamazoo Black Male Alliance. It was not formalized in an MOU like we have now, and not at the dollar amount that we are currently asking for.
And as part of the funding, did they give? Is there reporting mechanisms? Do we hear back about what programming they're doing and what they're achieving?
Yes, so as part of the MOU, there is a component for program evaluation that I'm sure we can get back to you all. It's also important that we do this for Title I purposes, so double between that.
Notice that the MOU wasn't in there.
Yeah, it's in.
It has some of those metrics.
It's,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Moving on to discussion, family and community engagement update. Mariama.
It's a podium HPC, so it should be fine. Yeah, we're not, it's the same. We're not zooming, so.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ms. Mariama Worry. I'm the Family and Community Engagement Coordinator. I'm elated to be in front of you all this evening. I started this position, this is actually my second year, but third school year. So I started in October of 2023 in this position. And so let's go ahead and move forward. So I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about my role and what I do, right? And so really just bridging schools, family, and community together for our ABCs and E engagement. So attendance, behavior, coursework, and engagement purposes between all three entities. What is my role? Amplifying community, family and community voice, provide support, build community partnerships, community communication and outreach, and we just added, now I know, I'm not sure if you all are aware, we don't have our contract with communities and schools, so we brought back on family advocates. Amplifying family and community voice, this part really, so listen with intention, include and make sure we're being inclusive in many discussions, and build trust through transparency. How does that work? So my first year, I started or rebirthed Power Families. It was once Power Parents. I'm trying to get more to the family because caregivers, students are cared for in many different ways, not just parents. And so the Power Family Action Committee, that was, so I went, the first year how we did that was pretty much, I went through communities and schools and they provided names of families within their building, and we did that. So I had about 1 to 2 families per school building, and we met at the district level, and that's how we came up. They will voice their opinions, also, you know, give constructive feedback, and also planning district-wide events. So the district-wide events that happened, that I will explain later in the presentation, was really from that group. And so I also wanted to provide what we, so this was from one of our Power Family Action Committee meetings, and so we had a roundtable, and so even in those meetings we still focus on attendance, behavior, coursework, and engagement. So this is what that was. Also part of the, I'm part of the Bearcat Health Committee, and so the reason why we want Power Family Action is because initially it was just caregivers from each building within the district, but through Bearcat Health they wanted more family engagement pieces. And so now, so towards the end of the school year, within that spring, we invited community partners to that as well. And so Big Brothers Big Sisters sat at the table, YPIC, Youth Positive Impact Coaching, sat at the table, and Communities and Schools was at the table for the community partners joining us in Power Family Action. And so that's that. Also, so this school year, the goal was to have PFACs within each school building through CIS. Now we're going to do it through the family advocates so that it's not at the district level. And then we'll just have PFAC champions that will check in with me and kind of let me know what's going on at each school building. And so so Power Family Action Committee is a name that I came up with. However, it's not to replace a PTO, PTSO, PTA, or anything like that. So if the work smarter, not harder. So if there's already a PTO within the building, then the goal is for the family advocate to collaborate with the PTO that's already established within the building. If they don't already have one established, then the family advocate needs to establish. And this is just the name. It doesn't have, this name isn't married to what that group is. And so they will be doing the same thing just at a building level as opposed to a district level and me running those meetings. So it'll be basically ran through the families within the school building and hearing their voices at the school level. Any questions so far?
Have you made those connections yet at all the schools, or are you working through those, and what's your timing?
Connections as far as having one in each building?
And the Power Family Advocate person connected to the PTO?
We have not yet. So I'm still actually, now I have to hire another family advocate. So once I have the opportunity to train the family advocates, they will get that information. But we have not had the opportunity to, I have not had the opportunity to train the family advocates yet and to get that. They are aware, they have a list, but we haven't, I want to be able to train them and let them know like what the criteria is and what I'm looking for before we do that. Good question, thank you. Provide direct support. So some of the things that I've been doing is restorative conversations, repairing relationships between school families. It could be peer-to-peer, so I've done teacher-to-teacher, I've done staff-to-staff, and I've done family-to-staff as well. And restorative conversations, really to the point where the school felt like they couldn't handle it on their own. And so I was directed to do a restorative conversation to repair whatever harm took place, whether, like I said, it's teacher-to-teacher, staff-to-staff, student-to-staff, things of that nature, family-to-staff as well. I remember doing one with a family that the principal had banned from the building and had a restorative conversation, and so that's just an example. Basic needs and resources. So initially this was done through communities and schools, and the plan is to keep doing that through our family advocates. Hygiene products, basic needs, food, helping with shelter, resources, things of that nature right in the school buildings. The family advocate position, as I stated earlier, is just really to be an extension of who I am and what I do for the district within the building, right? So focusing on student support, family engagement, and community partnerships directly in each school building. So with school support, so the family advocate serve has the bridge between families, community partners, and school teams. This role supports student success by strengthening school, home, and community relationships, coordinating resources and programs or engagement events, and that align with our district and the whole child approach. So when we talk about student and school support, as I just stated, assist with basic needs services. So there's clothing closets, hygiene items, food referrals, things of that nature. Supporting school climate and culture and recognition events. And help monitor student attendance and behavior as needed. But their role as helping with behavior looks a little different. It's providing the tools, the SEL tools, as well as basic need tools. Sometimes students act out because they didn't eat breakfast in the morning. And so providing that food resource for the students within the building. Family engagement, so meaningful and community involvement and conversation with the PFACs. Help monitor, creating welcoming opportunities for family feedback and participation. And so we will be doing like a quarterly survey, or anytime we have an engagement event, getting that feedback and what went well, what could we do better, and open comments and suggestions. Community partnerships, just collaborating with local organizations to bring services and support into the school, and coordinating volunteer-based programs like reading buddies, classroom helpers, things of that nature. Building community partnerships, so really just fostering relationships with both existing and new community partners throughout our community, and cultivating opportunities for each building in our district as a whole. So pictured here is YPIC, the Youth Positive Impact Coaching. We did our Bearcat Family Connections, and they've been a really integral part of our community partnership in Verona and Anjay the last couple of school years since I've been in this role. Just some other community partners, but not limited to. There are many, many, many more partners that we collaborate with as a district. Of course, I'm sure you're aware of our academies at the high school. And so that's really where the bulk of our community partnerships fall in within the academies. But these are some community partnerships that I personally partnered with in many different things. Communication and outreach, so Bearcat Buzz, if you're a parent as well as on the board, I'm not sure if you have heard our weekly phone calls in regards to attendance. We started off with attendance, but we hope to go through, like I said, the ABCEs throughout the school year. Bearcat Family Connections video series, something I started as well, just to kind of get with the times to in place of Parent University. So one of the things that came out of PFACs the first year was Parent University sounded too much like school, and some of our parents or caregivers have their own school trauma, so we can change the name. And so that's where Bearcat Family Connections came in lieu of that feedback from that family group. And so this year we've been really doing a lot of video series. I don't know if you see them on our Facebook pages. And we're hoping to get that onto YouTube as well as onto the website, along with other resources that families can access. One of the things that we're working on as well is a tutorial for Skyward, so families can go to the website and access how to navigate Skyward, to check their student grades and things of that nature, to stay in the loop with the coursework piece of engagement.
So you said for Bearcat Buzz, that's a weekly goal?
Bi-weekly, so I'm sorry. So the attendance videos are going up on a weekly basis. Bearcat Connections series is going up on a monthly basis, and then the Bearcat Buzz is on a bi-weekly basis. And sometimes it will come, I try to mix it up so that it's not, people don't start like, do not disturb the phone call. So sometimes it'll be a phone call, sometimes it might just be an email, sometimes it'll be a quick text message. Did you know, right? Or make sure your student's in school, things of that nature. Or sometimes it might be all three, so just kind of mixing up. So it'll also depend on what you selected at the beginning of the school year as a caregiver. If you want all three messaging, phone, email, and text, or if you just selected email, you might not get it 1 week, but you'll get it another week.
Well, that might be an opportunity. I know some people might be do not disturbing it, but that's might lead to the bully is leading to inconsistency of communication. So, and then are these posted on Facebook?
Yes.
Are they posted anywhere else? Because people who don't have Facebook or don't use Facebook, because I've not seen any of these because I don't get on Facebook like that.
Yeah.
So have we thought about how do we get it out to all? Because if we're saying we're being inclusive of caregivers, family, I'll just say families. Not everybody is on Facebook.
Yes, so one of the things that we've been in discussion for a while now is linking the videos to YouTube and then sending out an email message where the link on YouTube will be available for them, for families to click and to view the video.
Okay. Is there space on our website we've explored too for?
Yes, so those videos will also be, once we get it to YouTube, those links, it will be on the Family and Community Engagement hub on the website, along with other resources and the tutorials.
You anticipate having that up and running by when for the video ones?
So I was having some issues with YouTube, but we kind of unlocked the way for me to do it, like the workflow to do it. So those are coming up soon. And then moving forward, something that we're doing, especially with Bearcat Family Connections, because those are longer form videos, is cutting them down into shorter pieces for like YouTube. So YouTube long form and then YouTube shorts, so people can have like 45-second clips of really quickly and digestible information, as well as there's a lot of work that needs to be happening on the website. So we'll be working on the website as a whole, but also on the Family and Community Engagement page specifically.
I think, sending out with newsletters, different schools, I know have different practices, Fremont, they send update weekly, you know, well, at STEM, it's monthly, but so linking things to communications that are already going out and that are in a format that are easy to go back and reference. You can easily go back and find your newsletter or the Google Docs, depending on the communication format. I think that would be really helpful as well.
Thank you. Any other questions or suggestions?
I'll just, I guess, because you mentioned Skyward, I'm not sure when the mobile app came out, but I only learned about it this year, and it has revolutionized my experience with Skyward. Is it the mobile app new? Okay, well, I will just say.
We made it just for you.
As a parent, no, but because somebody told me that, because again, it's been years, and I did not know about it until it was mentioned in an orientation session at the beginning of this year. Otherwise, I would never have known there was a mobile app. And I will just say in my personal experience, it has revolutionized my ability to pay attention and track my kids' grades. And so when you mentioned that, I feel like that is a big opportunity
to share that.
Yeah, to share that and get more information out there on that.
So with the Bearcat Family Connections, just a little bit of feedback since we started. We've gained a lot of traction and positive traction to our Facebook page. So as of right now, it's just on Facebook. And so this is what the numbers look like. Views are the total number of times the video was watched. And so we've had a 29,000 gain since we started the Bearcat Family Connection series. Reach is the individual number of accounts that actually saw the video. And interactions, are how many shares, comments, and likes, etc. from each video. The top performing video in terms of viewership and engagement is the athletic conversation that I have with Coach Granger at the beginning of this school year. And additionally, the attendance video series that we've had, that we started, is performing very strongly, averaging about 3,500 views per video and accumulating a total of 12,000 views within the last 3 weeks. So it's getting to families, it's getting shared out positively on social media, and we're hoping once everything gets situated with YouTube and the website, we will get even more views that families are seeing and getting. We also had brief conversation about Instagram, but just really trying to get with the times on social media and what families are doing, and people always having their mobile devices in their hands.
What Facebook page are you guys posting on?
The district. Yeah, the district.
So, sorry, Mariam, I don't mean to take over this bit, but so you don't need a Facebook account to watch those, but you do need the link. So in that regard, we can definitely share out. YouTube is coming in the next couple of weeks, so either way, but we can share out the links as a Facebook, and you can still watch it without the account. But yeah.
I wanted to highlight the SEED Award because the SEED Award really brings home that bridge of community, school, and family. And so I know you're aware of the Bearcat Advantage, but the SEED Award is a program that provides our students with also a competitive $500 deposit into the student's own 529 college savings account for future education or secondary or post-secondary that students decide to go with. And so with the SEED Award, when we talk about community, so every school, let's start with the school. So every school building is K through 11th grade. And so every school, they get the information. I send it out via text, phone, email, website, social media. And a lot of the school, especially the elementary classrooms, they do it right within the school day as a writing lesson for their essays. And as well as at home, we have beautiful, beautiful essays and picture books from our elementary students. And but we also have community volunteers. I don't read the essays. We have community volunteers, retired teachers. Right now I have six community volunteers. There's 2 per grade group. So it's K2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9 through 11. And 9 through 11, we're still working on getting more applications from our high school. So they partner up with whichever other group has the lowest number. And so they are the ones that help prep. We have prep meetings for those. They help me sort all of the applications as well as read the applications and make the selection. So as a district, we don't make the selection, they make the selection. And so that's community involvement. Of course, family, with them being involved in the essay process and showing up to the ceremony, the culminating ceremony at the end to congratulate all of our winners. Every year is 24. We have pretty good attendance, about 19, average 18 to 19 the last couple of years of students have been attending the celebration. And increased participation as well. So one of our community members, he said, and I quote, he said, "I don't know what you've been doing the last couple of years, but essays in the 6th through 8th grade have increased tremendously, and they've been phenomenal, making it very difficult to choose." So we have, it used to be K2 or like kindergarten through 5th grade, elementary grade levels really were the bulk of the applications. And now the last couple of years, 6th through 8th grade have been the bulk of the applications. And so this really, I wanted just to highlight the family participation. They show up to honor their student. And it's just a beautiful sight and really a culminating of community, school, and home. And we have community, I don't pay people to come and speak or perform or anything like that. They come and do that. So community involvement as well. We usually have a singer or entertainment, a speaker. They all come and do that for our students and families. When we talk about FACE and integrating the ABCs, attendance, behavior, and coursework, attendance, since I've been a part of this role, partnering with churches and other community organizations for attendance campaigns. So right now, the attendance campaign is Challenge 5, is our campaign as of right now. And so this campaign right now on social media with the videos have over 7,000 views, and we only have done 3 videos thus far.
And I'll say that was, so I made that slide last week, and just with last night's video, that number got up to 12,000. So that's why she mentioned 12,000 before and that 7,000. So those videos are doing really well.
And I think those videos are doing well because I like to say because we involve staff members, we involve the community as well as students. Excuse me.
When you say well, we're talking about views, right?
Yeah.
So do we know if the campaigns have worked?
Not as of right now, but yes, that is we just started, so we want to at least get a month in, and then we'll look at attendance data.
Absenteeism is down.
Is it? Okay.
Chronic absenteeism. Trending. Our data right now is trending down.
Thank you. In the past, we've done family calls in support of the top 10% chronically absent students, the Student Services Department, and then incentives and recognition programs within each school building. So like attendance or count day, things of that nature. Challenge or 10-day street, things like that within the school buildings.
So what do we mean by top 10%? You're looking at the 10% of students that are absent?
So in the past, what we did, we looked at the students that were chronically absent, and we took the top 10% and we made personal phone calls and home visits as a Student Services Department. See what's to really get the why behind why you're not attending school.
How does that feed into so if we have like 20% chronically absent, that means we're not getting insights from all of it. So does the 10% represent that doesn't represent everybody that's chronically absent, is that?
No, we had to start small.
Okay.
So can you share? Come on. So the 10% chronically, 10% is the amount of days that a student misses out of the total amount of days they could have been in school. Those are your chronically absent students. So you take the top 10% of them, which we would consider your more severely chronically absent. So to be chronically absent right now, you could have only missed 2 to 3 days because we're so new in the school year, but some students have already escalated to what we would see beyond 10 to 14 days. And so those students would sit at your top 10. So if we can start carving them out, now we can get them down to an orange or a what's the tier before severely?
Yellow.
Approaching. We can get them before they actually get to your severely absent tier. So no, it doesn't account for all of the students that are, but just at that severe level.
And I think also to just make sure we're clear is that's the district's intervention.
That's district intervention, yes.
Or hitting the rest
Yes.
of that.
Yes.
Yeah, so each school has an attendance team. Every school building has an attendance team. Thank you for that.
I have a question. What are you learning about the why, like through these visits, and in contact with people?
Well, we thought we were thinking transportation, and it wasn't transportation. It was really health, mental health, physical health. Mom is sick. Really health. Transportation is still in there, but it's really physical and mental health.
From families, the children themselves, or both?
Yeah, both. Good question. Behavior, so I support the team with monthly behavior interventions trainings and bi-weekly SEL newsletters. I think you guys are a part of the newsletters. I think the board is a part of those. Trauma-informed walkthrough and PSE or SEL supports for Tier 1 and Tier 2 support. And encourage the schools and partners to host family engagement events for positive climate, as well as our community partners. I really encourage them to also do attendance and behavior incentives within their programming.
SEL was social emotional learning, is that what
Yes, social emotional learning. I actually had an example of a couple of our newsletters. So the first one, the Student Services Department was in charge of our back to school professional development around social emotional learning. And so this was part of, I had the restorative conference piece. And so this was part of the newsletter. So just to give you an example, I actually worked on weekly or daily, what you can do in the classroom or at your schools and at home. The next newsletter, information on how to connect with families.
So the newsletter goes to teachers, you said?
Yeah, to the district.
So I have a question with that PD and finding out that mental health and physical health are one of the reasons why chronically people are absent. What has teachers or the district done with that PD to try and prevent or not fix, but influence the trajectory of chronic absenteeism with mental health? If that's already on the radar from day one, have we done anything to try and improve that? Or I know we're aware of it, but now what are we doing to?
Really, so with our behavior interventionist trainings, we partnered with our special ed department, or the CISD, and they've been coming in and talking a lot about the different mental health and SPED services that are available, really partnering with Summit Point and connecting with them. There's a program, I'm not sure, there's a program that we have.
So we have partnered actually, we have been working very closely with Summit Point. We're actually there in our buildings on a weekly basis to provide supports to our families. We've also did some partnering with STAR. We've working with them as well as getting some type of in-house help with emotional support, mental health supports within the building, some of our top tier buildings that struggle the most in behaviors and with attendance. So we're partnering with STAR as well to get them in the buildings. And then we're also doing some one-on-one partnerships with STAR that will actually bring in the whole family experience. So it's not just the student that we're targeting, but we're also providing supports outside of the school with the families as well. So we've been really meeting with partners, just kind of trying to do some proactive work, because we know that our mental health is huge here, and there is very limited to what we have access to because we don't have a lot of mental health professionals in this area. So that seems to continue to be the barrier. So we've been trying to really partner with and expand our resources within our community, but also build up our behavior interventionists, build up the team that we have to be able to give them further knowledge on what we're experiencing here.
Another piece that we added was through our work with Bearcat Health, because we have all the partners right there at the table, just coming to them about thought partnerships on if you service students in this capacity, how can you also support either their health and or mental wellness. And so, for instance, we have Calhoun counties providing our wellness nurses in our elementary programs. But what they've been able to do is they also know that we are only providing the physical health, but we also see a need for mental wellness as well. So they have an opt-in or opt-out portion that's now right on their application. So students they're servicing, they can connect them right with the mental health resource if the family needs that as well. So our partners are working together to make sure that students and families are serviced on all ends. If I see you from this area, but I don't take care of that, I got a partner I can connect you with.
So when you're doing a good job. Thank you for doing this good presentation. Just to see all that we have. And when I think about family engagement, I think of two things: resources and commitment. Right. So the families who have the resources and are committed, they're the ones that come into the PTO meetings. They're showing up. Right. They're engaged. For the families who have low resources and are committed, they're reaching out. I'm curious about the families who might be low on both, right? I'm struggling, I don't have mental, I don't have capacity at all. I'm also not committed to my child's education. And there could be layers to that. And I'm wondering, so the community partnerships are really important. And you're right, like we don't have a lot of mental health. Let me just say, we don't have strong mental health resources or a variety of them here. And I think we also may have to be innovative in this space in our partnerships, because I don't think the district should own all of this. This is a community problem, right? And so I'm wondering, have we thought about an innovative approach where we put the responsibility on our community partners, but we're also saying this is where we need help. You know, Urban League, you know, I see that this education is a focus. What we really need is a community partner who can get innovative and real, right? And speak a different language. I think sometimes the organizations that we're engaging, there's a stigma, right? Even in working with some of those agencies, and they might not be able to get to the families that we really need to get to in the way that we need them to. Am I making sense, like what I'm trying to say? So I'm wondering if we have thought about how we can be innovative and real, and a creative approach to addressing some of the barriers that we have for families who are not committed and just don't have capacity.
And that's an ongoing process, but I think that starts at the building level through the family advocates and the partnerships that are within the building. So partnerships like Big Brother, Big Sisters with their Power 365 program in our middle schools. Partnerships like YPIC, who are in the community and in the schools and also do home visits. That personal relationship within the building, we always talk about one caring adult. And so those are some of the ways as of right now, but it still is an ongoing process and trying to figure out and really hearing from those families. So getting that feedback from whether it be a family advocate, whether it be YPIC, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, KBMA, the Kalamazoo Black Male Alliance, getting their feedback. I meet with them on a bi-weekly basis and really hearing what they have to say as well, and then putting our thinking caps on. One of the things that we're doing, not so much on the mental health piece, but through Bearcat Health, we're doing the Connect, Read, Grow, where we're going to bring families and community partners countywide into a room to have the discussion, to help us with the innovative thinking. What is it that your community is doing? How can we best implement? What can we try? Things of that nature to really try to get innovative.
And I think it needs to be culturally innovative, right? Because I think that's also a barrier in some of our systems approaches, is they might not be completely culturally relevant to reach the families that we need to reach.
So I'll add as well that this wasn't really specifically towards behavior
right.
and mental health, but it started the conversation because we were speaking about attendance with YPIC. And we are trying to get some more community partners involved. So what they're going to do is they're going to take a group and they're going to make contacts to faith-based organizations and other people that they work with in the community and push them into meetings with us at the school level so that we can get some more of that organic or grassroots communication to our families and touch those families, to your point, that are maybe low on more than one end, and they won't necessarily rise to our surface, but they're going to connect with the community. Instead of Maria having to go out and get those partners, they're going to help us get those partners at the table to support these pieces here.
As well as a student voice and having a student attendance team. And they're going to run that committee as well. And hearing directly from the students from all 3 tiers. So it's not just your honor society students or honor roll students. It will be students from all 3 tier levels of the attendance.
I think one of the things that I just want to put into the room is a conversation around supplemental funding for all of these things, because the past practice has been coming to Battle Creek Public Schools and asking us to create these contracts and pay for individuals, and we just don't have finances like that. And so the call to action is for the community to develop ways to supplement the work that we're doing and not ask us to constantly fund those ideas. And so I just have to put that out there, because that's been part of our rub, is like, we want to partner with people, but we can't take, our primary responsibility is to fund teaching and learning, and we're asking people to support us with supplemental services by bringing things to us. And I just want to put that in the space.
Right, the ask is also, is there room to make this a priority of yours? Right, for what you are already doing, right? Like, we can partner in supporting, you know what I mean? So yes, we can't pay for it.
And you know,
education is already one of your, part of your mission. We need help over here, right?
That's the mindset
it's almost
shift
like
that
a
we're working towards.
request for support.
We are happy to run alongside you, and there are grants that come out where a partner will come and say, hey, here's a grant that I think might help you that I can go after, but I need you to be a co-signer with me.
Yes.
We're absolutely into that. We need to bring additional resources to the school and not try to use the resources that are already quite thin here.
But to that point, like, what can we control then? Our focus is, the problem we're trying to solve is behavior. If we don't have, so 2 different comments, I'll do this one first. If we don't have community partnerships, what are we doing internally to reinforce, communicate, and address? Is the first question. And then comment is, as I have kids in 3 different buildings. And one thing that has been a struggle is communication. This is not a knock on you, Jose. This is a suggestion, though. Because we leave things up to buildings to do, and it drives different experiences, different places. So I'm getting 1 newsletter weekly, I'm getting 1 monthly, I'm getting another 1 weekly. Where is my one source of truth? Because all those newsletters should have a template, and then you're linking to, are you struggling with attendance? Here's the resource page for all the stuff y'all got. Right now, as a parent, if I wasn't sitting through these board meetings, and most people are not watching these, let's be real, how am I going to know about all this stuff? Like, we really need to work on centralizing, or at least creating a framework and having that experience be replicated through the districts. I get we want each school to have the space for culture, but right now it's almost like it's overwhelming and just too many different things. And I'm like, okay, this school I'll get it this way, this school I'll get it another way. I think the resources are available everywhere, but I wouldn't know that from the things that I get as a parent. I know it from the board, but I don't know it as a parent. So just a suggestion that, and Jose, you got external comps, but maybe we need to invest in you getting support.
So absolutely, it's funny not funny. Me and Dr. Carter met this Friday, and that's specifically something we addressed, and that's a specific task that I have. Make sure each building is sending out a newsletter weekly, no matter what. If they need a template, you give them a template and you train them on how to do it. So we hear you, I hear you, and it's coming.
And there's more to it.
Yeah, it's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we definitely.
That's good. That's a good first step.
I would say to answer your first question, internally right now, of course, we have our student services department and our behavior interventionists. Our Bearcat coaches are being trained by our department. Behavior interventions on a monthly basis, as well as still sending communication out to our staff through the SEL newsletters for the behavior purposes and the partners that we have going into the buildings. For the communication piece, we've also been communicating, Jose and I, we meet on a weekly basis, and really hoping that the website gets together soon so that the Family and Community Engagement Hub can be the one place hub for resources in general, as well as the newsletters. So like if they're going to one place and they can click if need be.
Yeah, one place for the calendar, for the newsletter, all that is what I'm really pushing on. But
And that's something that was brought up too when my first year in Power Families was, I have a student here, I have a student here. I mean, that was brought up, the communication piece was brought up, like, okay, I have a student at Fremont, but I'm only getting the all calls for Fremont, but what if I want to go to the football game? Or what if I want to go to Follies? Or what if I want to go to, so that was something, and that's why we've been in discussion in regards to that, as well as another thing that came up was spirit days. Like we might have homecoming, but I have a student in 3 different buildings and they're each doing something different on each day, right? So why is it not district-wide?
very much aware.
So the communication pieces, and they want to be involved, they want to, but it's like, okay, on Monday, this school's doing this and this school's doing that and that. So we're working towards that, and it's been in discussion, it's been brought up through the family voice.
Yeah, because by the way, I got a full-time job, so me managing all these communications and experiences, like, make it easier on parents. Yes, I'm trying to be engaged, but I get wore out with this. So let's like
Systemize it.
focus on that. And I know, okay, you got a comment. Go ahead.
Thank you.
I've been sitting over here like dreaming of an app. Because we do, we have, I was thinking the same thing of these are different, all the different ways I get communication, and I have this app, and then I get remind for some things.
Yes.
Some use it, some don't, I'm like dreaming of an app that has all of this.
Dojo and all these things.
It's coming. It's coming. So, well, I don't want to say for sure. Tomorrow I'm meeting with, and I talked about it briefly, and I made a kind of a distasteful comment of it's like school messenger on vitamins, Mitch said. So I'm meeting tomorrow with, Parent Square is the platform, and they have an app where newsletters can live, parent and teacher communication, everything can live.
hear you.
And so I'm looking into it, so it gets unified, and it's easy for the buildings, it's easy for the parent, and it's unified across. It's starting as a potential pilot just at Fremont and STEM, and then hopefully for 26, 27 rollout. It's a little more expensive than School Messenger, but I'm in conversations. It's coming.
Great questions and suggestions. Am I good to move forward?
Yep.
And then, of course, coursework. So we have our Reading Buddy mentorship, which will be getting back started. Like I said, just getting the family advocates together and really taking that on in the absence of communities and schools. Supported, we're working towards, Carrie and I, working towards the HBCU tour and just other academic awareness programs, as well as our tutoring connections and resource referrals, goal-setting tools, and things of that nature that I collaborated with Carrie Briggs, who's our Bearcat Advantage coordinator. And then we've had a free tutoring program through Western Michigan University as well. And that was actually one of our videos, and that communication was sent out as well. That was last year.
Have we done an HBCU tour? I thought we had approved something related to that.
We never could get the funding necessary. It was much more expensive, so we're trying again.
Got it.
So we're still working different routes and pieces and still in.
To make it accessible.
To make it accessible, yes. Highlights as far as from a district standpoint, from last year, we had our, we collaborated with the Tailgate, our family barbecue. Really how that came about was I didn't plan a rain date for it. And so the family barbecue came out of the, from the Power Family Action Committee. The families wanted that, and we were rained out on the initial date. And so we collaborated with the Tailgate for homecoming, and we had 700 plus families come out. One of the biggest homecomings in a while, and events in a while. Bearcat Love Week, again, that came from the Power Family Action Committee about Spirit Week. And so we had a district-wide Spirit Week where schools had the same thing on each day in the spring. And then we had a culminating family engagement event at the end of the week. And then we had our Spring Family Summit as well. And then, of course, the Bearcat Family Connections videos, the mentorship program, HBCU initiatives. This was at a building level. I created a slideshow presentation for each building to do during homeroom throughout Black History Month to talk about not only the Bearcat Advantage, but also through HBCUs, and then just talking about HBCUs. Play this video of one of our alumni. Maybe.
You should attend an HBCU because it is the one place in this world that was specifically designed.
I'm not connected to the sound.
You are. You might have to put the volume up on the video.
All been centered around the Black experience in creating a space for every single person to thrive and to succeed and to dream bigger than they ever thought possible on their own. And not to mention,
oops. Sorry. So anyway, she's an alumni. So this presentation, so they can do throughout Black History Month for the HBCUs, and just talking about making our students more aware of that. Something that I did. And then we had with Carrie, with Ms. Briggs, we had the HBCU panel, as you see up top there. From this year, we also collaborated with the Tailgate, and we had the family barbecue again. 960 plus attendees, that's not including whoever didn't get a blue wristband. Family advocates across all schools. As far as one of my metrics is to have a family, a caregiver group or committee within all of our school buildings. Our Challenge 5 attendance campaign with the Bearcat Buzz, and staff PD and restorative practices. What's ahead? One of the things that I wanted to do, but I don't know if I'm still going to do this actually, because I wanted to do, this came out of the Black Boys and Men Symposium. I wanted to do family power hours on a bi-monthly basis and go to each school building. But I think I'm going to collaborate or talk to the superintendent, collaborate with her community listening tours, because it's kind of the same thing. And so that was that. That I had on my list. Bearcat Community Days, those are the quarterly celebrations or engagement events like the Spring Summit, the Spring Family Summit, the Family Barbecue, and the Love Week, Bearcat Love Week, Bearcat Family Connections, the monthly videos and new resources, and getting the website together for that. Collaborating, I spoke a little bit about the Battle Creek Community Foundation on our Connect, Read, Grow, and our Lunch with Littles partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters for our district administration staff to have lunch with a student at Battle Creek Central and STEM. And I also had a video here where we have a student. And it's not playing.
That one is on Facebook, I think, because I feel like
Yeah,
I've
this
seen
one
it.
is on Facebook. This was our first attendance campaign video. Miss
My name is Coach Miller. I work here at the high school, coach football and track. It's important to be in school every day. Go Bearcats.
Hey, what's going on, Bearcat Nation? This is Herb Eaton. I'm the Director of Operations for the whole district, and you've seen me a little bit of everywhere, but I want to make sure that it's so important that every student, every dream, every day come to school. That means every day you have your behind in the seat, doing what you do to get ready for the next one. Remember, every student, every dream, every day here in Battle Creek Public Schools. Love y'all.
So there's that one, and then this was the one most recent from this past week.
All right, hey, how you guys doing? I'm Mohammed Ahmed, also known as Mr. Mo. I am an early childhood educator here down at New Level. Hey, get your kids down here if we need them. I am also an alumni of the great Battle Creek Central. You know, once a Bearcat, always a Bearcat. Class of 2019. All right, so I just want to give you a couple words of why you need to go to class today. Attendance is very important, all right? Now, if you don't go to school, you can't learn. You need to be in class, all right? Make sure you're getting all those notes and taking those tests and everything, all right? Yeah. I'm Coach Butter.
been coaching for a little while. Now I'm in the school system doing a barricade coach job. And I'm here to make sure all the kids get their education. Go to class every day and learn respect.
Hello. And IT for Battle Creek Public Schools. We need you in school because when you start that routine, just keep going, just keep swimming. It'll get easier, And then when you get up in the morning, it's just a thing that you do. So we gotta see you.
I played those because I knew Missionary was going to be in here. But
hello.
Great participation. We have a lot of people that responded back to do those videos. And I invite all of you to be a part of that as well. So just shoot me an email, let me know when we can come record you, and we'll put you on. We plan on doing that for the whole school year. Why we do what we do? Directly drive attendance, behavior, coursework, and engagement with our families, community, and school. This is some of my success metrics as of right now, or what I plan to do. So PFACs or PTSOs, or PTOs, they're called many different names. So right now we have 4 buildings that already have them, working towards the others, and 2 to 3% of staff, family, community members engaged in at least one event. We only have the family barbecue as of right now, and family engagement survey satisfactions that will go out on a quarterly basis. Thank you. Any questions, comments, concerns? I appreciate you all giving me the opportunity to highlight family and community engagement, and thank you for my team for being here and supporting me. I'm like, y'all gotta come, I might forget something. So thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to B, MASB delegate discussion. So I put on your guys' table in front of you the 3 pages that is going to be what we're voting on at the delegate assembly. Highlighted in green is the additions, and then orange is the deletion. It's going to be really, knock on wood, should be short unless people disagree on the word or and, but there's only 3 sections that are changing, 3 additions, and we just need to know how we want to vote on that as our one delegate. Kate will be voting for us as a district. Oh, it's Ryan. Oh, you're the alternate. Okay, Ryan will be voting for us. So what are your thoughts on these additions?
So I have a question.
Absolutely.
Many of them were making an amendment to specify that we would have a person who was a K-12 educator or an expert for assessment and competency testing, family involvement in the school, not that one, sorry, and then curriculum and standard. I just want to verify that we already are meeting that standard, that we already have. So for the first one, it says that the addition that they put in there is that assessment should be written, the rationale is that the assessment should be written by those with experience and expertise in education and making assessment grades appropriate. So they're basically saying, if we're going to vote yes for it, we don't want to be in a position where we're voting yes for something where we aren't doing it. I'm assuming we're already doing that,
Yes.
from my understanding, but I want to make sure that we
Thank you
verify
for
that with
asking. Yes, we need that expectation.
I read it or understood it differently, so maybe I was off. I thought it was saying that like MSTEP and like the big assessments, that they shouldn't just be written, like this is just a resolution saying that those assessments should be written by educators and not just by like professional test writers.
So the way I read this is really giving, it's not district level, it's state. It's saying that whoever you hire for MDE must have K-12 educators and not just statisticians and those kinds of things. Does that make sense?
And that was, so I'm actually on this committee, and that was one of our big pushing points was right now, you don't have to have any background on anything. You could be a plumber and write all the steps. Like it's, we wanted it more specific to show that.
No offense against plumbers.
Yeah, absolutely. Huh? What?
No offense against plumbers, but yes.
No offense against plumbers, absolutely not, no. That was just the
But this
first
is really
occupation that came to mind.
And I appreciate this, it's really pushing to the state to say, hey, don't just go to companies that sell you tests.
Yes, that's the important part there.
Yeah.
So I definitely, I agree with this part.
Thank you.
Any other questions or?
I think importantly, Ryan, are you comfortable with voting for these? Do you feel like you understand it, and do you have questions for,
This one seems, pretty straightforward in that sense, so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think we want to vote yes on that, yep. The next one is G 6.30, family involvement in schools. The addition was the MASB encourages districts to provide, and then the addition of this involvement would enhance school opportunities and functions to continue to work toward the best interest of its students. Any thoughts on that one?
We just had a great presentation on how we're doing that, so.
Are we all good with voting yes on that when the time comes?
Okay.
Okay. And then the last one, A 5.30, curriculum and standards. The standards and content level expectations should be developed by educators with expertise in education and child development.
Is it funny you have to say that? But okay.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Same just as the first one.
Yes.
I agree with that one also.
Okay, so yes on all three? Cool. Thanks, Brian. Next, letter C, NSBA trustee selection. So, and my pen died. The dates again are, thanks. Friday, April 10th, Saturday, April 11th, and Sunday, April 12th in San Antonio. Last year, me, Trustee Grajek, and Trustee Johnson went. And I think last year, it's an open discussion. I feel like we opened it up to the officers first, and then if they couldn't, anyone, and then if they couldn't, then we just wouldn't send anyone. And I think it was 2 people. Last year was 3 specifically just because MASB paid for me. So.
Are you getting the opportunity again?
No, that was because someone couldn't go, so I volunteered. So I guess my first question is, do any of you 3 want to go?
That's not during spring break, is it?
Good question.
Last year it was during.
Last year it was during spring break.
You said April 10th.
April 10th, yes.
It's not spring break.
I think it'd be great, but I think it'd be fair not to go since it's what, unless no one wants to. I'd be happy to go.
Spring break is the last week of March.
Thank you.
Okay. Exactly.
Yeah, if there's other interest, I would someone else who has not been to go.
So Trustee Perry, you are a yes? Okay.
Go last year.
And then I'm also with you guys. I feel the same way. So, Ryan, would you be interested in going? Okay. So are we okay with Trustee Hildeman Jackson and Trustee Perry going representing us at the NSBA conference this year or next year?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I will send Kawita. I'll send you a link with all the registration stuff, and I'll CC you too, just so then you guys can figure it out from there. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Public comment. Do we have any public comment? Moving on to new business. A, security updates. I will entertain a motion.
President,
Yes, Trustee Grajek?
I will move that we approve the security updates presented in the total amount of $4,368,661.72 from bond funds.
Support.
It's been moved by Trustee Grajek, supported by Trustee Perry. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed, say no. Motion passes. I will entertain a motion for the BCCHS radio replacements.
President Fulbright.
Yes, Trustee Hoagland Jackson.
I move that we approve the BCCHS radio replacement for an amount of $13,105 funding source bond funds.
It's been moved by Trustee Hoagland Jackson, supported by Trustee Flores. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed say no. Motion passes. Moving on to C, I will entertain a motion.
President Fulbright,
Yes, Trustee Johnson.
I move to approve the student Chromebook purchase up to $80,000 from general funds.
Been moved by Trustee Johnson, supported by Trustee Hoagland Jackson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed say no. Motion passes. Superintendent comments.
Parent-teacher conferences are in full swing across Battle Creek Public Schools. This is such an important time for families and teachers to come together, celebrate student progress, and strengthen the partnerships that make our schools thrive. We encourage all families to take this opportunity to connect, ask questions, and collaborate with teachers to support every child's success. Together, we're continuing to build the bridge between home and school that ensures every student, every dream, every day. I also want to thank all of our staff who might be watching tonight. For those who have already participated in our fall listening tours, the district team has certainly enjoyed visiting the business buildings and getting to know what's happening in your schools. Your voices matter, and we're excited to be continuing those sessions this week. Check your email for the invites. We'll be coming to a school near you very, very soon. Finally, Dudley Early Learning Center still has availability, but you better get in soon. So if you have a child between the ages of 6 weeks and 4 years old, please contact Director Tricia Graycheck to schedule a tour, explore the renovated spaces, and meet the incredible staff. Thank you.
Board member comments.
Also going to talk about Dudley Early Learning Center real quick. They've been doing promoting fitness all month, and they have the big event coming up, the Dudley Dash, on Tuesday, October 28th at 5 o'clock. Stepping off for a 1 mile route at 5:15. This is sort of a counterbalance to all the sugar candy events. Nothing wrong with that, but we're going to do a little walking event for this too. Fun costumes are still encouraged. If people are interested in doing that. It is a nice, mostly paved, stroller-friendly route to walk, push, roll, stroll, jog if you want. That goes between Dudley and Northwestern and back. I had the joy of walking it the other day with the director of Dudley and making sure it was a 1 mile route with our mapping software, and it was very beautiful. So, on to that.
So I want to send condolences to Trustee Perry and her family. We lost one of the greatest teachers from Battle Creek Public Schools, Mr. Stanback. He was one of my teachers in middle school at WK. And what I loved about Mr. Stanback is he had an incredible sense of humor. And he'd be standing outside with his coffee mug, and he'd be capping on you as you walk by, and his sense of humor was hilarious. I mean, he just was, but you also knew not to play in or around his class. And he was one of those teachers that had very clear expectations of every student. It didn't matter what background you had or whatever, you had very clear. So he was just one of the most outstanding teachers. Did you also have him? Yeah. Yes, and one of my favorites. So send our prayers to your family.
Any other board member comments?
I would like to honor that today is Indigenous Peoples Day, and it is a holiday that in the city of Battle Creek we have recognized since 2020. And I will say this has a particularly special place in my heart as being one of the people that worked on establishing this in the city of Battle Creek. as part of a year-long process in consultation with the Nottawasapi Band, Huron Band of the Potawatomi here locally. It was an incredibly meaningful process of the way it was established, and so I just hope you will bear with me as I read the resolution today. So whereas the Battle Creek City Commission takes notice of and acknowledges the following. The Potawatomi people have lived upon the land and along the rivers that converge in the city of Battle Creek for hundreds of years before the city's founding. And the arrival of the Europeans and the aftermath of the establishment of the United States had a devastating effect on indigenous peoples and their communities. It included war and colonization. While the ancestral lands of the indigenous people were appropriated in forming the United States, indigenous people are resilient and are still here. Indigenous people, including the Potawatomi tribes in Michigan, have been here since time immemorial, long before Christopher Columbus. They are a vibrant and self-determined people with a rich culture that is deserving of honor and celebration. And the idea of Indigenous Peoples Day was first proposed in 1977 by a delegation of Native nations to the United Nations-sponsored International Conference on Discrimination Against Indigenous Populations in the Americas. And in 1990, representatives from 120 Indigenous nations at the First Continental Conference on 500 Years of Indian Resistance unanimously passed a resolution to transform Columbus Day into an opportunity to reveal historical truths about pre-existing indigenous cultures that have survived an often violent colonization process and continue to exist and thrive in present-day America. And a growing number of states and municipalities in Michigan and across the country no longer observe Columbus Day, but have opted instead to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day as an opportunity to celebrate the cultures, heritage, contributions, and resiliency of the indigenous peoples of the land that has become known as the United States of America. And whereas the city of Battle Creek recognizes and believes in the innate dignity of all people, and that it's important for governmental policies, practices, and narratives to be equitable, reflecting and uplifting the experiences, cultures, histories, and contributions of diverse peoples, and that Columbus Day has been viewed by many as a celebration of the United States' rich immigrant, and in particular, Italian and Catholic heritage, and that while recognizing the valuable contributions of immigrants to our history is important, it should not come at the expense of recognizing the experiences of the indigenous people of the American continent. And whereas the city of Battle Creek is grateful and proud to have collaborated with the sovereign nation, the Nottawasapi Huron Band of the Potawatomi, in numerous ways over many years in a spirit of cooperative coexistence and mutual support. And whereas over the last year, the city of Battle Creek has been involved in a consultation process with the NHBP regarding creation of a resolution in the city of Battle Creek to meaningfully and respectfully honor Indigenous Peoples Day, for which the city is deeply grateful for the advice, feedback, and support. Now therefore be it resolved that the Battle Creek City Commission hereby designates the second Monday of October, today, as Indigenous Peoples Day, to uplift our communities and country's indigenous roots and history, and celebrate the thriving culture and contributions of the Potawatomi and other indigenous peoples. And further be it resolved that the City of Battle Creek commits to continue exploring and partnering with the NHBP around opportunities to promote positive relationships and accurate narratives, and other efforts to be mutually determined. And further be it resolved that the City of Battle Creek encourages all businesses, organizations, schools, and other entities within the City of Battle Creek to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day by learning about the history of Indigenous peoples, both in our community and more broadly, as well as celebrating in meaningful ways the thriving cultures, values, and contributions of the Potawatomi and other Indigenous peoples. Thank you, and happy Indigenous Peoples.
Thank you. Any other board member comment?
I have one. I wanted to just say, well, thanks for Trustee Johnson for your kind words about my dad. And I wrote down some stuff to reflect too. So one thing I'm always curious about when people run for school board is, what is somebody's why? My why was rooted in 3 motivations: my dad, myself, and my kids. My dad was a product of Battle Creek Public Schools in the epic class of 1966. He also spent his entire career in Battle Creek Public Schools as an educator and a coach. He was a motivation for me, and he gives the lens of now how our decisions impact the educators and staff of this district. And I don't take that lightly. I watched him treat everyone with respect that he worked with, and I do the same with my employment today and in the district. He passed away on October 3rd, and the overwhelming response has helped me learn more about him and his impact and legacy. Thank you to his former students, colleagues, friends, classmates, and coaches for your kind words. And I actually did meet his wrestling coaches, so that was surprising and touching. I also want to especially thank Mrs. Melody Yank, who gave insightful comments of his impact on her as a teacher and how it led to her becoming a teacher. All of these interactions are a reminder of the importance of the decisions we make as a board to employ great educators and staff who will make lasting impacts on our students' lives. I want to thank the district for the flowers in the resolution. I'm going to read that resolution. And I also want to stress again the importance of the legacy. Me hearing those comments let me know his legacy isn't just with me, but it's with all of the students and people that he impacted over the years. So I will read this resolution honoring Mr. James Stanback Sr. Whereas Mr. James Stanback Sr., a proud graduate of Battle Creek Central High School, dedicated over 30 years of faithful service to the students, staff, and families of Battle Creek Public Schools. And whereas throughout his tenure as a teacher and coach, Mr. Stanback demonstrated unwavering commitment to excellence in education, inspiring countless young people to reach their fullest potential both in the classroom and on the athletic field. And whereas Mr. Stanback's leadership extended far beyond academics and athletics, he was a mentor, role model, and pillar of strength for Battle Creek community, shaping generations of Bearcats through his passion, integrity, and dedication. And whereas his love for the Bearcat tradition and his steadfast belief in the potential of every student exemplify the spirit of Battle Creek Central High School and the mission of Battle Creek Public Schools. And whereas his legacy lives in the lives of those he taught, coached, and encouraged, reminding us all of the power of education, teamwork, and perseverance. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of Battle Creek Public Schools hereby recognizes and honors Mr. James Stanback Sr. for his extraordinary service, leadership, and lifelong dedication to the students and families of Battle Creek. And be it further resolved that his contributions to the Battle Creek community will forever be remembered with gratitude, respect, and admiration, and that his example will continue to inspire future generations of Bearcats to believe in the Bearcat way. He was under the pride of the state, and he lived that, and thank you again, everybody, for your kind words about him.
I think we're going to end with that. Meeting adjourned.
You didn't say your usual one.